Welcome to the Face Music Podcast. What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, and I'm your host. This is episode number 27. Stay tuned for this week's Top 10 Songs of the Week. We're going to talk about the VMA's tribute to Ozzy, the Twisted Sister reunion, the Into The Void series, and I have a huge announcement. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Welcome to the Face Music Podcast, everybody. What is up? How are you all feeling? I hope you had a great week. I hope work hasn't been too bad. Hope you're all doing all right. So again, I will say that I apologize for the computer issues last week. Threw my whole shit off. It's time to, I think it's time to start saving for a new computer. This one, unfortunately, is not the workhorse that I need. But regardless, I hope you guys learned a little bit more about my friends in Oceanside after last week's episode. Great group of people and truly great band. I loved having them on the show, and I will have an announcement regarding them in just a little bit. But very exciting stuff going on this week. Episode 27, we are doing the damn thing, folks. This is going to be a great episode. You guys, I'm sure know now, I do all my interviews at least 1 week out, so it gives me a little bit more time to get some extra stuff in if I got to move my schedule around. It also allows me to give you guys a definite glimpse into future episodes. I've got 2 in the chamber as of today, so we'll be hearing from the brand new metal collab project Summergrave, which is a 2-man project created by 2 friends, Matt and Dan, with a passion for metal and a friendship that was found in a pretty unorthodox way. But you'll hear more about that in the interview in just a little bit. Now, next week, I have been so excited for this one. This is one that when I started the podcast, I knew I wanted to make it a goal to have these guys on in some capacity. I love this band. They are so much fun. They put a lot of power, positivity, and meaning into their music. I sit down with Jordan Caparel of South Carolina, a new metal band, Redefined. That's going to be a really good one, guys. Do not miss it. Now's as good a time as any to say it. If you're interested in coming on the show, please hit me up and let's put something together. I'm booked into October now, meaning I have interviews in October, which means starting week 1, we're going to be pushing a week out. We're going to hit November really, really quick, guys. Within the next couple weeks, I'm going to be booking into November. And then before we know it, into December. And December is going to be extremely busy. I'm going to be taking less interviews that month due to what I have planned to close out the year. So don't wait. It'll be here before you know it. Bands, if you have shows or music that you want to promote, tell me about it so I can shout it out on the show. Either hit me up on Instagram at the Face of Music Podcast or just email me. Easiest way is email me at theftmpod@gmail.com. Now, for all of my first-time listeners, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Face of Music family. I hope you all like what you hear. I hope you go back and check out all the other great episodes of the Face of Music Podcast. You got a lot of catching up to do. But I'm glad you're here. And when you're listening, it's our time to just hang out together and forget about the true insanity that is life. Forget about all the negativity and bullshit. Forget about politics. There's none of that shit here. There's no stress or worry. I'm here to just talk with you about all things hard rock and metal music, expose you to some kick-ass music, including, minimally, 3 independent, unsigned artists every single week and bring you some fun and entertaining discussions from artists that you know and love to artists that you may not know yet. Thank you for tuning in, and I sincerely hope you enjoy the experience. Now, for all my returning listeners, welcome back, my friends. Thank you for listening week after week. Thank you for joining me once again on another episode of the Face the Music podcast. You guys know what's up by now. You know what I'm all about. Much love to you, and I'm so thankful and so lucky to have your support. Once again, big shout outs to Dead Within Days, Gavel Down, Riff Haven Audio, Moongroove Records, Oceanside, John Gunther, Rob Moon, Mike Mars, for legitimately always sharing shit up every single week. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. I love you guys. If you want your name added to that list, it's so simple. Share my post and tag me, and that's it. It really is that simple. So if you are listening right now, you're already doing the one thing that I want everybody to do. The question must be asked, though, who else did you tell about the show? It's really easy. Let's make this thing big, guys. I have 3 really fast, easy, and cheap ways that you can be a part of this. Number 3 may surprise you. Number 1, follow the podcast and listen every week. If you're hearing this, you're already doing this. This is the time-consuming part. In my eyes, this is the hardest part. Number 2, follow the Instagram and Facebook pages. Comment on posts. If there's a poll, throw your opinions in there. This may be my podcast, but this is our community. And I like including you guys. I like hearing what you have to say. Your voice matters to me. Number 3, finally, share the page or a post. If you're listening right now, you know somebody else who would enjoy. So spread the word. Tell them what's up. Nobody only has one person in their life that listens to metal music. You always have a friend that does or a family member that does. And if you don't, you never know who doesn't. So share the fucking posts up, guys. Let's get this thing going. Someone may be waiting in the wings for a show like this. But that's it, man. 3 really easy, really fast, and all of them are free ways to support the podcast. I feature unsigned bands every single week from all over the world. You or someone that you know could very well find your new favorite band right here. I only promote bands that I feel truly bring something to the table, something worth paying attention to. So I promise I won't waste your time. More importantly, I won't waste a band's time. If this isn't the right fit for them, it's not a right fit for them. My audience will or won't like what I show them. I try to err on the side of caution there and really just give you guys what I know you're going to enjoy. But I hope that you found some new bands to listen to because of this podcast. And I haven't really run into a situation where I've had to tell a band, I don't think you're a good fit for this yet. So keep it coming, guys. Keep the submissions coming. Keep me in the loop with the things that you're doing. And, listen, every week you will find bands that you love that you may not even realize you love. There's bands that I find every single week that I'm like, oh my God, this band should be much bigger. Or I find out that they're coming to my city next month and now I got to go buy tickets to another show. Like, you never know. And there's a lot of talent out there, guys. Without further ado, if you motherfuckers are ready, let's get into the Week 27 Top 10. You guys know the drill. You'll hear all of the clips of the top 10 on Spotify episodes, but unfortunately YouTube will not allow me to upload music as a part of the podcast. So if you are watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, the clips won't be featured. Not until YouTube fixes their bullshit licensing, which seems to be a major point of contention among many content creators currently. But you can still listen to all of the songs, all the full songs on the Face Music Top 10s playlist over on Spotify. The code's going to be at the end of the top 10, and it's also in the link that's on all of my socials. 27 weeks in, we have over 280 songs. That's close to 20 hours of music from artists that you know to artists who you may not, but deserve your full attention. All right, now, it's time for this week's top 10, everybody. This week, we're going to be hearing from A Million Little Fires, Bobaflex, Valfor, Kingdom in Flames, 156 Silence, Moonwaves, Fit for an Autopsy, Limp Bizkit is back, baby. Dinosaur Pileup, and today's special guest, Summergrave. So let's kick this thing right off, shall we? At number 10, starting things off, we have black and deathcore band Moonwaves out of New York. The band was founded only 2 years ago, back in 2023. They combine symphonic orchestration with the dark themes of black metal and the brutality of deathcore. The band's goal is to curate a vicious and immersive sound. This band is a new find for me, having only just discovered them a couple days ago, really. Typically, the black and deathcore genre is not my usual cup of tea. And often stereotypically, it kind of all sounds the same. The music quality kind of sucks. There's usually a lot to be desired stylistically, but when I put this track on, I was more than pleasantly surprised. These guys completely exceeded my expectations. Excuse me. They are fantastic songwriters, lyrically poetic, and they definitely break the mold. I was very happy with this. I look for bands that speak to me in this way, where it's not everything that you're going to hear because the genre has a certain stereotype. I like bands that break the mold. So I was more than happy to throw these guys on this week's top 10. So at number 10 this week, straight out of New York, this is a brand new single from Moonwaves. This is A Sign of Virtue. Number 9, also hailing from New York, we have metal band Valifor. These guys have a real prog metal vibe to them, almost new metal at times. Valifor started out back in 2016, my apologies. They'll be celebrating a decade of being in a band next year, which is very exciting. Huge milestone for these dudes. On August 22nd of this year, the band dropped their newest EP. It's a 5-song rager entitled Cognitive Distortion. Our number 9 song this week is the title track of that EP. This is Valifor from Long Island, New York with Cognitive Distortion. At number 8, we have the band Kingdom in Flames out of Baltimore, Maryland. Kingdom started out last August. Happy birthday, boys. The band currently has one full-length album out entitled Inside the Upside Down, which also contains the band's leading single for the album entitled Black Widow, released last year. Inside the Upside Down came out earlier this year on January 29th. 11 songs, great songwriting, massive amount of talent in this band, and for such a young band, it really makes me look forward to seeing them grow. Young in the sense of a new band. These guys are veterans in the music scene. They combine elements of gent and prog and metal. It's very groove oriented. The band itself consists of 5 guys who, as I said, they are no strangers to the East Coast music scene. The band consists of Bruce Baldwin on vocals, Rich Davis and Steve Schaefer on guitars, Ashley Maccabee on drums, and Donnie Rush on bass. These dudes have a lot of years and a lot of experience to offer, and I hope this band puts them in position to reach any and every single goal that they have set out to accomplish. I have a good feeling that this album is going to launch them to where they need to be. Number 8 this week, this is Kingdom in Flames with the title track of their first album. This is Inside the Upside Down. Number 7. This band is one that I know has been around for a long time, but I never really listened to them. I don't know why. I just never hit play, I guess. The band was founded in 2007, so about 18 years ago now. They're from Leeds, England. The band currently consists of members Matt Biglin, Mike Shields, and Jim Crashley. The band is Dinosaur Pileup. Dinosaur Pileup has released 5 studio albums and 6 EPs over the course of their career, the most recent being I've Felt Better, released August 22nd of this year. This is the band's first album in 6 years, and it looks to be a reflection on life since 2020, tackling topics such as the pandemic, illness, perspective on priorities, loss, pent-up emotions, hope, despair, bravery, struggle, vulnerability, pain, resilience, and love. The band really writes from the heart. They speak from the heart, and they say a lot of things that most of us have been feeling, but either feel too defeated to say, too afraid to say, or just felt as though it isn't worth saying, you know? The song that caught my attention and made me decide to finally check out this truly great band is called My Way. It's a newer song off the new release. I heard it in a promo video for the album, though, and it really stuck out to me. And the thing that caught me off guard about it is that the verse that they used for this is kind of painting a picture of what it's like to be in a band. You know, how people think that it's all glitz and glamour and that the backstage party is crazy, and it's just not. It really isn't. There's no glamour to it. You know, it's 5 dudes playing in a band. You're driving around in a van. You're going show to show. There's nothing really glamorous about it. It's kind of a hard life, you know. But they really keep it real about what it's like playing in a band, weighing expectation versus reality. Anyone listening who isn't an unsigned or local band, like I said, ain't all that glamorous. Often it is literally stuffing yourselves into undesirable situations in pursuit of living a dream. But brutal stuff, but that's the grind of it, you know. So when you see bands that are coming to your town, like, give them props, man. Show up for the shows. Follow them. You know, all the little things like that, that really makes a difference for these guys. It really makes it worth it. And they are pursuing the same dream that everyone else is trying to pursue. They just want happiness in a self-made manner. But hey, you know what? Check it out for yourselves. At number 7, this is Dinosaur Pileup off of the new album I Felt Better. This is My Way. Number 6, I have been thinking about this band a lot lately. Been thinking about how a good riff lasts forever, how impactful simplicity is, and when you make something memorable, you probably won't even realize it, but somebody else will. Now, I'm talking about the band Bobaflex. This band used to fucking rule, dude. They're still really good. They've calmed down through the years. They used to be a very erratic, high energy, out of their minds metal band. Now they're more rock and roll, hard rock based, which is fine. They're still great. But the impact that they made on me was nuts. The first time I saw these guys was at the inaugural Gigantour with Megadeth, Dream Theater, Fear Factory, Nevermore, Dillinger, Symphony X, Dry Kill Logic, and Life of Agony. They just exploded. It was non-stop energy from start to finish, and I was absolutely obsessed with them at that point. The two brothers, Sean and Marty McCoy, have led the band since Jump, and through the lineup and sound have changed. Really, they're a great hard rock band. I can't lie about that. They're a lot of fun. I got to open for them about 8 years ago, and while I'd fallen off with keeping up from them, and I didn't know that they stopped doing the earlier, heavier stuff, didn't stop me from enjoying the performance, and it didn't stop them from delivering a legitimately great performance. Cool dudes, they always have been. I bring up the riff, for because after the first time I saw them, I went home and I made it a mission to learn the riff in the song I'm about to play for you. Easy as can be, but fucking impactful. The song pops off hard and it's just relentless. I want to take a second and dedicate this song to my friend Rob Moon. Seems fitting. At number 6 this week, this is Boba Flex with Better Than Me. Coming in at number 5 this week, we have LA hard rock band A Million Little Fires. The band started in 2016, but unfortunately, soon after launching, the band took a hiatus until 2022 when they began writing new music, reimagining the older songs, gearing their music down a bit of a heavier path with the goal to make music powerful enough to move an audience physically as well as emotionally. The band is gearing up to release their their new album, Violent Halos, which is going to be out October 10th of this year. So we're looking at a little bit less than a month away for this release. Very cool and very exciting stuff for this band. This is a group, like many others you hear on the podcast, they're new to me. Kind of just fell into my lap, and then I get the pleasure of telling all of you about them. This band is not one to sleep on. The new single is great, and I'm so excited for the album next month. At number 5 this week, out of LA, this is A Million Little Fires. This is Drown in Her Heart. Number 4, today's special guest, we have Summergrave. Now, this is it's the same thing every time I have an interview with a band. I don't really mention a lot about them in the top 10 like I normally do for the other bands. I'll give you a short little bio of them. But they're about to tell you their whole story in just a little bit. So what I will say is this. The band does have a 3-song EP entitled The Mountain Sing for No One due out on Halloween of this year. They have one single currently released of the 3, and that's going to be our number 4 song of the week. Off of the upcoming EP, The Mountain Sing for No One, this is Summergrave with their debut single, This is the Callous Pretender. Now, before we head into the top 3 songs of the week, let's just do a quick recap and see where we're at. Okay, so number 10, we had Moon Waves, A Sign of Virtue. Number 9, we had Valfor, Cognitive Distortion. Number 8, we had Kingdom in Flames, Inside the Upside Down. Number 7, we had Dinosaur Pile Up, My Way. Number 6, we had Boba Flex, Better Than Me. Number 5, we had A Million Little Fires, Drown in Her Heart. And at number 4, we had today's very special guest, Summergrave, The Callous Pretender. Now at number 3, this band was shown to me by my good friend Dylan earlier this week. Never heard of these guys before, knew nothing about them, but usually when I get a text from Dylan saying, hey, check these guys out, I know that it's about to slap. The band is 156 Silence. They've been around now for about 10 years, hailing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. These guys are gearing up for an absolutely massive fall tour. They're going to be doing 62 shows in 78 days. They're going to only have 16 days off between September 21st and December 7th. They're going to be fucking grinding it, guys. They're going to be out with Counterparts, Fit for a King, Throne, and mixing in some headlining shows. Go support this band. They are the epitome of working hard. They're going to be coming through New York twice in 2 months. The first time, we got them October 23rd, next month. They're going to be at the Paramount in Huntington, New York with Counterparts. Then November 26th, Thanksgiving Eve, they're going to be at the Palladium Times Square with Fit for a King. Stay safe, guys. You have a completely ridiculous fourth quarter ahead of you. Best of luck. At number 3, one of the hardest working bands out there right now. Off their newest release, People Watching, this is 156 Silence with Better Written Villain. Number 2 this week, we have Hometown Boys, the deathcore legends, Long Island and slowly migrating down south band, Fit for an Autopsy. Legitimately, one of the biggest names in the genre and some of the finest musicians in the genre as well. This band has given all they've got and they just keep pushing out greatness. So many bands aim to write a song, push the song, wash, rinse, repeat. Fit for an Autopsy really crafts their releases. They really make them something that channels the same energy live as they have in studio and vice versa. This band is gearing up for a new album, but while that remains unnamed and details aren't really available yet, we're still going to bump the new single because it absolutely fucking rips. Your number 2 song of week 27, this is Fit for an Autopsy. It comes for you. And your number 1 song of the week, I'm scripting this out now. While I'm reading this, it's later, but dude, scripting at 3:53 a.m. Friday morning and about 4 hours prior, Limp fucking Bizkit dropped a brand new track on us. Now, y'all know me by now. You know my love for Limp Bizkit. This was an instant ad. It's a no-brainer for me. There's no better place for a new Bizkit track than at the number 1 spot. Now, this song easily sounds like it could belong on Hot Dog. It's a banger of a song. Gonna go hard as hell live. I'm so excited that Limp Bizkit is still writing and recording. They're still so damn good after all this time. Guys, no brainer here. Your number one song of week 27 with a really special shout out to Mr. Chester Bennington right at the front. This is Limp Bizkit with the weirdest song name that they've ever put out, Making Love to Morgan Wallen. You can check out the full songs on the Face the Music Top 10s playlist on Spotify by either searching or scanning the code that is on your screen now. All right, guys, so let's talk some shows. October 11th, 2025, City Sound Studios in Ronkonkoma, New York. We have horror metal band Uchikatsu taking the stage, featuring the highly anticipated return of the Stitched Up. We also have Take the Flame, Gas Leak, and Letters to Milena. 6:30 p.m., $18 to get in. This is an all ages show. There will be no alcohol at this event. We talked about this prior. Be respectful of the venue. Be respectful of the bands. Don't show up fucked up. Don't make a scene. Don't cause problems. Be respectful, guys. Next up, I've been mentioning this show for a few weeks now, but every year, 3 bands put on their annual Monster Mosh Halloween show. The bands are all friends of the Face of Music podcast. We have Resist the Temptation, Dead Within Days, and Pathmaker. Every year, same location, Polish American Independent Club in Port Jeff, New York. This year, they have Terrigenous opening the show. Terrigenous is a more prog metal band. At this show, both Resist the Temptation and Dead Within Days are releasing their EPs. Pathmaker is going to be headlining this one. Tickets are $20. Each band performs a full set, usually throws a cover or two in as well. Pathmaker is known to do some very random things. I can't wait to see that. Costumes are encouraged. This is a Halloween-themed show. There will be a costume contest. It takes place November 1st, 2025, which is a Saturday, so no excuses. This event will most likely sell out, so don't wait. I've talked to the bands. They are running pretty low on tickets. So don't wait around for late October. Don't even wait for October. Buy them now if you want to go, because I don't think they're going to last. But with admission, you also get all non-alcoholic beverages included for the entire night, which is fantastic. That's so cool that they do that. So this show starts at 7 p.m., and I will see you guys there. Now, this was announced a couple weeks ago. I'm just going to throw it in because I like it. I go every year. But anybody interested in symphonic Christmas metal, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra just announced their annual winter tour. They do 106 shows in just 2 months between their 2 divisions. They have the East and West Coast. I go every year. It's an incredible show. It's so much fun. If you've never seen them play, it's arena metal, done fun for the holidays. Tons of lasers and pyro and tons of guitar solos and shit. It's really cool. But they'll be out here in New York December 18th. I'm pretty sure they'll be at UBS. I usually end up going out of state for this or whatever is going to be on the weekend because weeknights are usually pretty difficult. But check their site for all shows if you're interested in going. And if you haven't seen them, tickets are usually pretty cheap. It's a great time. But yeah, hopefully you go out and see something new. Now, it's announcement time. This is a big one. At least for me, this is a big one. A few months back when Gavel Down came on the show, we talked a lot about Metallica. So much so that before we wrapped the interview, the idea of doing an all Metallica episode, like roundtable style, was actually kind of hatched, and the wheels started turning a little bit. So we're going to be working on that one at some point soon. But it also made me think, now, that would be a really fun format for other popular bands too. So, let's say an all Linkin Park episode. Linkin Park is a band that has a tremendous impact on me from, when I was a kid to a teen, even today as an adult. So I hopped on Instagram and Facebook and I put out a feeler post to see if I did a Linkin Park Roundtable episode, who might be interested in being a part of it. Well, the response was so great on it that it was kind of a given. I have to do this. And then, I had the thought of, well, what if we add another layer to this? There's a lot of people who love this band, who were even inspired to play music because of them, to sing or scream because of them, or at least in part by them. That part I did not make public until now. I am proud to announce that Saturday, November 15th at Shaker's Pub in Oakdale, New York, I will be making my return to the stage for the first time since March 1st of 2020. And I will be doing so with Mr. Tom Gallagher and Joe DeMeo of Soul Searcher on vocals and bass respectively, Dylan from Resist the Temptation on rhythm guitar, Alec Rogers, formerly of The Unpermitted, behind the kit, Alex Krauss of The Stitched Up rapping, and on samples, Mr. Travis Parker. We will be paying tribute to the band that had a massive impact on all of us as Project Zero, paying homage to the band's beginnings as Zero before they were Linkin Park, and Project Revolution, the legendary touring festival that they toured multiple times. Joining us on stage November 15th at Shakers, we will have my friends and show alumni skate punk, pop punk band Oceanside. We will have metalcore band Within These Walls. And making their return to the stage after years away, after releasing their incredible new album Hearts Run Dark, also friends and podcast alumni, we have Gavel Down on the show. Tickets for this event are $15. They're going to be bought at the door. There is no pre-sale for this show. Doors are going to be at 6 p.m. and the first band is going to kick it off at 7. Project Zero will also be filming our set, and the performance will be featured on the Roundtable episode of the podcast for Linkin Park around December. So again, November 15th, Shaker's Pub, $15 to get in. Show starts at 7. Make sure you get there early and you stay late. I don't want to hear anything about this being too late for you. The show's going to be done before 11 o'clock. This is a big one, guys. I haven't played live in over 5 years. I would love it if everyone could come out and support. And if you're interested in being a part of the Roundtable, email me at theftmpod@gmail.com with Linkin Park in the subject line. I cannot take everybody, and I cannot do any Zoom calls for this, but I will find a way to include everybody who wants to be included. Don't be mad if you aren't picked for this in person. It is purely due to the amount of space that I will have available, but everybody will be included in some way, shape, and form. Let's talk about some music news, guys. First up, we're going to talk about the VMAs. Now, this show and channel has traditionally been exclusionary of rock and metal music since the early 2000s. So naturally, it felt a little weird to me that they were going to be doing an Ozzy Osbourne tribute at the show this year. A little forced, kind of felt like trying to hit the hot button. They plucked Nuno Bettencourt, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Youngblood from the Back to the Beginning show, and as soon as I saw Youngblood's name, I knew they were going to do changes. Obviously, right? Here's the thing. At Back to the Beginning, Youngblood delivered what I'm going to call probably the best performance of his entire career, and he's never going to be able to capture that again. This is no slight on him. He's a great singer, but that was a moment in time. That performance brought an arena to tears. It was powerful. Nuno is a god, and I will never say anything bad about him. But the guitar also is not the star of the show in that song. So while I think it was kind of forced to recreate it, it didn't sound bad, but it wasn't it, you know? They also did Crazy Train, and as predictable as The Sunrise, they closed with Mama, I'm Coming Home, which features Steven Tyler and Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Now, again, not bad. The performers did what they were paid to do, but they definitely tried to make lightning strike twice, and it didn't. But that's not really where I was feeling weird. I was feeling weird because of how completely out of place the whole thing was. It was a fart in an elevator, you know? Watching crowd reactions, a bunch of Gen Zs looking on, utterly clueless as to what's happening, awkwardly dancing along because some producer told them to, Ariana Grande's whole pretend to be breathtaking act. It was just awkward. The Osbournes were a huge show for MTV, but that era happened before most of that audience was able to walk on their own, and it showed. It was a kind of respectful gesture of MTV to put this together, but it really felt like MTV did it just for the ratings and viewership, which I'm all but certain was the goal here. And I'm sure that we'll see it again at the Grammys, who made their stance on rock and metal loud and clear through the years. But why not beat the dead horse, right? But I don't think this is the last time we're going to see this performance. I just hope that it's done in better tact, with better purpose, and actual, do it for Ozzy. Don't do it because you need the viewership. That's fucking scummy, Now, next up, speaking of Ozzy and metal music in the mainstream, Hulu is premiering a series called Into the Void. The first season of this show, assuming based on ratings they may do another season, has 8 episodes and it premieres on September 22nd. The show delves into the emotional sagas and behind-the-scenes lives of iconic heavy metal bands and artists, offering an intimate look at the towering legends and unforgettable figures in the genre, according to an IMDb description. From the trailer alone, it looks like it'll feature prominent figures in the genre like Rex and Phil from Pantera, Randy from Lamb of God, Randy Rhoads' sister, Sharon Osbourne, Zakk Wylde, Dime's girlfriend Rita. It looks like it goes kind of into the light and the dark side of metal, from what it brings to fans, to the lawsuits, the accusations, the murder of Dime, the death of Randy Rhoads. It looks like it's going to be a kind of intense series, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So again, that's September 22nd on Hulu. Lastly, for music news, I had a feeling that I'd be saying these words sooner than later. In 2026, the kids come out to play one more time. We see the return and 50th anniversary of Twisted Fucking Sister. This band is legitimately integral in my musical journey. I always knew them for I Wanna Rock and We're Not Gonna Take It. The casual fan type shit. Well, back when I was probably in 10th grade, I want to say, I went on vacation with my friend's family to Virginia. We spent a weekend in the Virginia Beach area because there was a music festival happening on the beach, which was absolutely awesome. There was just bands playing everywhere. There was tents all up and down the boardwalk, a small stage on one side of the beach, and a massive stage on the other. There was an amphitheater that was kind of tucked off to the side, but those 3 stages housed the headliners of the festival. So one night was Sugar Ray and the B-52s. One afternoon, we had Georgia Satellites and Charlie Daniels Band, which was a whole other obsession of mine for a long time. But the first night we went to go see Twisted Sister. Now again, only knowing 2 songs. Can't speak. Again, only knowing 2 songs, I was excited to hear just those. I didn't know that Twisted Sister was an actual metal band, but I learned that very quickly. Stay Hungry, Burn in Hell, Shoot 'Em Down, The Kids Are Back, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, SMF. My entire life changed that night. I witnessed metal greatness right in front of my eyes. The funny thing is, this was Twisted Sister reuniting again. Over 25 years of their existence before them, and I was like 16 years old discovering a band who's already had their entire career happen. But I saw them quite a few times since then. I got to meet the band after a show once. Everybody but D. D. Snider is a metal god to me. AJ Perro quickly became a drum hero of mine as well, and I got to meet AJ a couple times. He was always such a nice guy. Unfortunately, tragically, AJ passed away only days before I was going to be sharing the stage with him. I was opening for Adrenaline Mob, and not even a full month before the show, AJ tragically passed away. That dude was such a phenomenal drummer. It is not even funny, dude. I did end up meeting D down the line, which was actually kind of funny. It was the most unexpected place possible. I was pumpkin picking with my family. And he was, there with his family too. But we were at the same farm. I wasn't going to be that guy. I try not to be. I will just be like, oh shit, that's fucking D. Snider or whatever, and just like live my life, But, my mom was there and she went over to him and she introduced us. She's like, Mr. Snider, my son's a huge fan. And as mortified as I was, at the same time, I finally met D. Snider. This band is extremely important to me, and I'm so happy that they'll be making one final return to the stage next year. However, they will not be touring with Mark Mendoza on bass. Unfortunately, irreconcilable differences were cited with no elaboration, so replacing him will be Russell Pizzuto. They will also have the drummer who played on Love is for Suckers, Joe Franco, behind the kit. I'm super excited to see them again. This band has had such an important place in metal history. Today's special guest is a two-piece metal project started by two friends who have a shared love of metal music and whose friendship started in a very unexpected way. We'll call it that. Matt lives here on Long Island. You know him from his band Patterns of Decay. Dan used to live here, but now he lives up in Vermont. He's a studio engineer. He does absolutely incredible work. Big shout out to Liquid Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Summergrave. All right, man. So, welcome to the Face the Music podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime, man. I'm excited about this. I've been following Patterns for so long. It's cool to see you do something outside of that too.
Word.
So,
Thank you.
So how did you guys meet?
So when Patterns started, Patterns of Decay, we needed to record some music, and we were in a practice space. And there was another band. I think their name was Dragon's Bane.
Okay, I remember those guys.
Do you remember the Fappening?
Yes.
Okay, right. So when all those celebrity nudes were like leaked on the internet, they overheard us talking about it, and then we like kind of bonded over that. And they were like, "Oh, we know this guy, and he records music at your practice space." And we were like, as a new band, we didn't have much money. We didn't have real like merch to sell at that point.
Right.
So we were like, "Okay, let's give it a shot," And Dan came through, had maybe one of the worst experiences of his recording career, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah. So Dan, you used to live here on Long Island?
Yeah. Okay. I lived in Long Island my whole life. Moved up to Vermont about 8 years ago now.
Oh, cool. How you like it up there?
Love it.
Yeah.
Kind of in middle of nowhere.
I haven't been up to Vermont, but I hear it's beautiful up there.
Yeah, it's really nice. Except it's going to start snowing like next week.
Yeah,
probably.
I have a couple of friends that live out in Colorado that deal with the same thing. Snows 3/4 of the year. But yeah, that's cool, and it's such a fun way to start this off with a reference to the Fappening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool origin story for the two of us meeting, and just shows you how just how random these run-ins with people are, and
Yeah.
you end up meeting lifelong friends.
Yeah, that's the truth, dude. I mean, how many times you like meet someone at a show or just by chance and you see them at a million other shows, you end up becoming friends with them. Like shit happens
Definitely.
all the time, dude. It's
Sure.
one of the best parts about being in the music scene.
Yeah, man.
So how was Summergrave born, being as you guys have such a distance between you?
Dan, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't even know how it really started. I was, what, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was getting back into writing music just for myself. And I'm close with Matt. I would share songs that he was working on with Patterns, and then I don't really know how it happened. We just kind of started sharing ideas back and forth, and then it was just like, hey, why don't we see what we could do? And it kind of just came about by us just sharing riffs with each other, and then it would be like maybe I'd send Matt like 3 or 4 riffs, and all of a sudden he'd send back to me like 10 more riffs, and then it just kind of went back and forth like that. And it really came together really quickly. That was like, it was crazy how quickly and how easily kind of we wrote music together.
That's cool. You kind of froze up a little bit there for a minute, but I was able to piece together a lot of what you said. Um, yeah, that's cool, man, that you guys have that kind of working relationship. You can do this
Oh no.
interstate and stuff. um,
Yeah, man, it was nice. Like, I mean, he sent me a riff, and I was like, all right, I could picture what could come after this. So I was like, I might as well lay it down in a video
mhm.
and send it over to him, see what he thinks. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed.
And Matt, this is the first time you've ever fronted a band, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know how if I could call it
Well,
fronted, but
but
yeah,
doing the lead
definitely
vocals
first
for.
first time I'm doing lead vocals for a band. All the lyrics and like, it's definitely, it was a challenge to do because I never realized how physically demanding screaming could be.
Mhm.
A lot of these guys, especially Christian from Patterns of Decay, they make it look easy,
Yeah.
and like it kicked my ass. But yeah, man, it was a cool experience doing that, and I got to get a lot of shit off my chest lyrically.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Christian, by the way. He's a madman.
Yeah, he's nuts.
I always love watching Christian perform. He's out of his mind. But yeah, man. That's cool. And yeah, there is something to writing lyrics. And I mean, I'm not a singer by any stretch or a screamer or any sort of, vocalist. But there is such a catharsis to writing lyrics sometimes. You just kind of get all your thoughts out, whether they're happy or like really dark or they tell a story. It's cool to just have your thoughts out. Feels good.
Yeah, man, it's that or pay for therapy, right? So
Yeah, and this is a lot cheaper.
yeah.
So do you have any like are you doing any of the instruments on the record or are you just vocals for this one?
So I co-wrote with Dan on the guitars, but Dan tracked everything in his studio, the
Cool.
studio he's in right now, beautiful studio, and he did the drums, bass, and you want to talk about that, Dan?
Yeah, yeah. So Matt would, we went back and forth with sending each other riffs, and then um, first I would kind of like we'd work together, just kind of piecing the arrangements together, and then once we had that all mapped out, then I went and I tracked everything, instrumentally here, and I programmed all the drums, and then yeah, send that to Matt, and then we were trying to think like, what do we do for vocals? Because at first Matt wasn't planning on being the vocalist. I think you always had the intention to write the vocals, but
Yeah,
not to actually perform them. And we couldn't find anyone that would work. And Matt was like, "Let me give it a go," and it wound up really. I mean, I think it sounds great. Like you'd think Matt was a vocalist, like really impressed with what he did vocally, and yeah, it just worked out. It was easy.
So Matt, do you ever dabble in vocals with patterns? I can't remember because the last time I saw
yeah,
you guys was so long ago, but I do
sure.
remember at least I think that you do like background vocals and stuff, right?
Yeah, I do some backup stuff, and a little bit more so on this new EP that we're putting out, where I I was able to do the lyrics for one of the songs like I did on
Oh,
our
cool.
last album.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah. So I was a little bit more involved in that this time around.
Mhm.
Um, as far as being on the actual record. But yeah, I mean, I've done it, in the past. Normally, I'll do like a clean chorus here and there.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, doing it for the whole song is exhausting, man. It's it's intense.
Yeah, it sounds demanding. I've only ever given it a shot one time, and like I'm not coordinated like that. So
Sure.
the whole thing was just an absolute mess. So kudos if you could actually do that shit.
For
But
real.
so Dan, you were recording while you were here. That was 8 years ago. Prior to that, I'm sure that you've had your experience in recording. How long have you been doing that for?
Oh gosh. I think I started Liquid Studios in 2013.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I had been I had I first kind of started dabbling in recording back. I mean, my freshman year of high school. We're going back to like 1999 on the old Tascam 4-track recorder. Recording my band. And then like through high school, I used to just record myself. So I always had an interest in it. But it wasn't until about 2012, 2013 that I decided to kind of go all in on it. And started down on Long Island, and then was kind of doing full productions down there. Like Matt said, at first my whole thing was kind of taking the studio to bands. Then I kind of built out a studio in my home in Long Island, and then in 2017 when we moved up to Vermont, there's really not much of a metal scene here, and I'm far enough away from everyone that I couldn't really do the whole full productions anymore. So now, probably last 8 years or so, I just do mixing.
Oh, cool. Is that something you might have mentioned? I might have missed it. Did you go to school for this, or
No,
just
no, this was just,
self-taught?
yeah, yeah, the internet age, kind of
Yeah,
learning everything like that. It all spawned from me just, I play guitar, was wanting to record myself.
right.
And then about that time, like 2010, 2011, I started kind of deep diving on YouTube, kind of losing it, like, getting lost in that, the metal forums and stuff like that. And then took courses online and stuff as well. But yeah.
So that's actually what I'm doing currently.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
Because I've been doing the same thing. I've been recording myself since 10th grade. And all these years later, I'm actually like kind of learning how to do it. But it's funny because of how many people I know that actually went to school versus how many people just decided to hit YouTube and Reddit and stuff like that and try to find forums to teach them. And it's a lot, but the product doesn't change. It's still good if you're paying attention to what you're doing.
Exactly.
Um, so that's cool, and especially if you could find a forum that actually helps because Reddit is kind of a cesspool. So, so now how many songs are you guys putting out with this project? Like I know you just released one. And
Sure.
a
So it's
second
part of
second one's on the way, right?
uh, a little further down the line, yeah, sometime I think in October. But yeah, it's going to be part of a 3-song EP that we put together. And then we're gonna, try to get right back to writing and see what else comes out of this. But it's 3 songs that I really think are pretty cool. Some different things for me stylistically in them, which really elevated what I was able to do with the lyrics, and I'm excited to get them out there.
So lyrically, if you don't mind me asking, what are your themes for this 3 song?
Sure. So, I mean, depression is a big one. Anxiety is, kind of, I mean, even in Patterns of Decay, we call ourselves the Anxiety Boys.
You
So,
sure
anxiety
do.
is something that always hits home. And, there's one song I wrote specifically about like how I felt having panic attacks and, just what your body goes through, what your mind goes through during that sort of like episode. And it was cathartic to be able to put it on, not really on paper, but write it down, and put it to music because I felt like the sound of the song really paired well with the subject matter.
Yeah, I've known for a while that Pattern sings about like mental health, depression, anxiety kind of stuff, and that's always resonated with me. It's one of those like you're not alone kind of things, you know.
Sure,
So
man.
it's cool that you've carried the torch with that into this new project too, and given your own spin on vocals with it. Um, it's interesting to hear you try to form that, like what you experienced during a panic attack, because I would want to believe everyone else's experiences are kind of unique with that, but I feel like there's
Sure.
also certain things that are very similar for everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued about
Yeah,
those.
I mean, I'm also intrigued to see if anybody else kind of can relate to what the words, that I've put to that. So it would
Mhm.
be nice to hear from people if they do find that it resonates with them, even if, just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a serious subject, but also, it can't be the focus all the time. So I did try to like spread out from that a little bit with other themes on the other two songs as well.
Right. I mean, you write about what you know, you write about what you're passionate about, and you write about
Sure.
what's on your chest, man. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to key it up to one thing or another. If that's what you're feeling, go for it, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so now I always ask everybody, it's kind of the most generic question, but I'm genuinely interested because you hear this on like interviews with bigger national artists and stuff, but I want to know more about my scene and my guys. So who are your main influences? Like who made you say, I want to pick up guitar or I want to do vocals or drums? Like who inspired you the most?
Getting started with guitar, probably as I lay dying, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
That style of metalcore really made me want to like I had dabbled with guitar in like high school and stuff like that. And then, I heard Confined and I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I really that like hit home for me." And so like that type of metalcore originally, like I was playing Atreyu songs and stuff
Mhm.
in my bedroom, and like Every Time I Die, stuff like that. And then I started listening to stuff that was just like well beyond my skill level. And at that point, it was like, okay, I like all these guys. I don't know if I can hold a candle to it. But then the Black Dahlia murder, like, really
Yeah,
kind of influenced a lot of things that I do. Little things, but a lot of that melodic death metal, new wave of American heavy metal stuff. That's the stuff I liked coming up.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and for me, I'm a huge Rage Against the Machine fan. Like that was kind of what got me into, I guess, heavier music in general. And I started playing guitar when I was in middle school. Um, and that was like in between when Evil Empire and Battle of Los Angeles came out, and I remember picking up the guitar and just learning some of those songs. It was just I connected so much to that and that the ability to make music like that. And then I kind of went down a path, kind of going more old school, like Black Sabbath, and then like Metallica. Metallica's really old school Metallica, 80s thrash stuff like that. That was kind of um, what I really cut my teeth on and like learning, and that's really how I learned the instrument was kind of learning those songs. And then I kind of stopped playing guitar probably for a good 10 years, and I didn't pick it up again until I don't know, maybe 2014 or something like that.
Wow.
And by that time, my musical taste had changed so much, and guitar playing in general has gotten so much better. I feel like that it was like really tough, to kind of catch up to kind of what people are doing today. So I still feel like what comes out naturally for me when I write, it still kind of has a little bit more of a maybe dated, but more of an old school sound to my style. Because I never kind of really picked up with like kind of the modern sound that bands have today.
So Rage Rage is one of those bands where it doesn't matter if it's Tim or if it's Tom writing the riff, it's just powerful. It hits so hard every single time. And the same thing transcended that group into Audio Slave too. Like you could always tell who's writing and who's playing those riffs. Um they work so well together, dude. And I'm not like the biggest Rage fan anymore. I used to be very into them, but um, I my taste kind of evolved a little bit. But still looking back on those records, it still hits the same way it used to, you know? Um, that's cool though. You had like kind of an all over the place background, the early 80s like thrash scene, a little bit of Sabbath in there. That's all good stuff. Um, and, like I mean, was there any guitarist or musician in particular that made you say like this is my favorite riff, this is what I want to do? Like is Tom Morello your guy, or is it just kind of all over the place?
Probably all over the place because I don't know, really early on too. I was into like bluesy type stuff. It was weird. It's like a lot of my friends at the time that were playing guitar were more into like Led Zeppelin and blues playing. So a lot of it was I was trying to emulate those kind of older sounds. Like I always wanted to be kind of that classic lead guitarist of back in the day. But more modern. I don't know. It's I feel like everything I listen to now is just so impressive and intimidating that it's like I don't know who I necessarily draw inspiration from these days. It's like I wish I could take a little bit of everything that's out there.
Music nowadays, some of it is so good, but some of it is just it's kind of fake, right? Like
Oh yeah.
you listen to it, it's like there's no way that he's playing this live. Like there's definitely edits, there's definitely speed ups and slowdowns and stuff. Um, and unfortunately, that's just the nature of like the recording industry now. Is that it's not all as genuine as it used to be. You don't hear mistakes anymore. You don't hear any like raw tones, um, which is it's good and bad. It's always good to have a polished product, but at the same time, it's bad because it takes away the human side of it, which I always thought was fun and enjoyable.
Sure, definitely.
100%.
So, is this gonna stay a project just between the two of you? Like, is there any hopes for doing this live at some point, or just gonna keep it a studio gig, or
I mean, as of now, it's not feasible necessarily.
right?
I'd love to do it live. I don't know if I could, you know, like there's that too. I'd have to do a serious 80s training montage to get myself ready for that type of thing. But I mean, I'd love to. I'd never want to rule it out.
That'd be
Dan,
cool.
you'd have to play drums and guitar and bass at the same time.
Time. Yeah, I don't know.
So, Dan, what's your main instrument? Since you are like a multi-instrumentalist,
Uh, guitar.
guitar.
Yeah, 100%. Bass. I actually only picked up. There was a band I briefly joined, and they had an opening for a bassist, and I was like, oh, I'll buy a bass, and you know, I could figure it out like that. But yeah, guitar. I started playing guitar when I was 12. Um, so yeah, almost 30 years at this point playing guitar. But
That's cool, dude.
yeah.
And Matt, you've been playing for a while now too, right?
Yeah,
Oh no.
I'm such a slacker when it comes to practicing guitar, man. Like I'm
Lose
the
me?
worst. Video games win every single time when
Yeah.
it's like video games or practice guitar, or porn. And yeah, I just I could be a lot more diligent about my practicing. It would probably improve my writing as well. But yeah, I've been playing since I was like, I don't know, 15 years old. And I did it because I wanted to look cool, because you do look cool when you have a guitar in front of you. I mean, that's just,
Of
you
course.
can't debate that. And I just like stuck with it because I like making songs. I like piecing things together. It's a cool exercise for your brain,
Yeah.
when you're bored. And I like the way music makes me feel. So
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that, dude. Music is a very powerful thing,
sure.
but just bear with me, guys. I forgot to mention this beforehand. I'm a little under the weather, so if you see me like shut my camera off real quick and just blow my nose, but I'm still
No
here.
worries, man. That's all good. Feel
Yeah,
better.
dude. Something over the last 2 days just started whooping my ass, and today I'm feeling better than it was yesterday, but I'm still congested as fuck. It's a mess.
It's all good. That sucks
Um,
though. Feel better.
oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's always this time of year too. I always end up getting sick now, which
Yeah.
you
Well, it's
know,
getting colder.
yeah, change of seasons.
Yeah.
Um, so now you guys have one video out, and you made this yourself, Matt, right? Like you overdubbed anime, right?
Yeah. So it's an anime music video with lyrics. The anime I took clips from was Cowboy Bebop. It's one of my first favorite animes growing up, if you're not counting Pokemon. And yeah, I knew we weren't going to be able to do a video together, and it's not like we had any real budget for like a professional video or something like that. So what I was thinking was I want to put some visual to the song so that we can, you know, at least get it in front of more people than just the streaming crowd.
Right.
And I've always had a passion for like making movies and things like that. So it was fun cutting that together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that a style that you're gonna approach again with other videos, or
Oh yeah, I got like 4 of them loaded and just ready to go.
that's awesome?
I've been so bored lately. So, yeah, yeah. I got 2 more for patterns, and I got probably do the other 2 for Summergrave as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's cool finding a creative outlet like that. You
yeah.
know,
It's fun, and honestly, I was able to put them together like a lot quicker than I thought I would be able to. I don't know how legal it is, copyright, whatever. But I feel like if they flag it, whatever.
well, you haven't gotten flagged yet, right?
Not yet. They haven't caught me yet.
And it's been out for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I did that other one for patterns with Akira, and yeah, man, I'm a weeb.
That's all right. I was never really into much anime, but Pokemon as a kid, that was my shit.
Oh sure, yeah, you couldn't escape that. Now,
No.
Dan, did you fuck with Pokemon, or is that little beyond your age group?
I think
Yeah,
I think I was.
Dan,
When did
kicked our ass.
Pokemon like first come out?
Well, I mean, I was watching Pokemon, I think, when I was
I want to say 98,
fuck 5th grade, I think. Yeah. Like
like maybe 97. I don't know, but definitely late 90s.
I do know that like I would go
Yeah, no,
like
I was.
scrounge up change from around my
Oh, man.
house and like go buy Pokemon cards with it.
Hell yeah, some of those cards could be worth something nowadays.
Yeah. Dude, I know so many people that made bank off their Pokemon cards during the beginning of COVID.
Everybody
Like,
but me.
me too. I missed the boat entirely. My friend sold cards for like $3,000. Bought himself a whole like home setup for
That's
work and
ridiculous.
shit. Yeah, dude. He had like first edition Charizards and shit. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I got like a binder full of these bitches, but like I think I got a Venusaur hollow. Never mind. We're not gonna go down this road.
There's always that turn. I feel like every time I do a podcast, it always goes down like
Sure, yeah,
some
that's the
alley.
tangent. Now we're
Yeah,
talking
dude.
about Pokemon cards.
It's always the fun stuff to talk about. Like
Yeah,
it always starts and ends with the band and about the music, and then it just goes somewhere else. Like when I did Resistor a couple months ago, they started talking about Beyblade tournaments, and they
Oh
issued
yeah.
a challenge to Dead Within Days because they also have Beyblade tournaments at their shows.
Oh man,
And Conti was
that's too cool for my blood, man. I want kids playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the pit for a Summergrave show.
dangerous.
Yeah.
But Conti was talking about how they play competitively on Jerkmate Pro. It's
Wait,
like
you can get a pro account on Jerkmate? How much is that?
I'll have him hit you up.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it was. Oh, he said Jerkmate competitive, but yeah, either way, I'm like, man, this is going down an alley. This is
I
going
want to know
a
about
weird
Jerkmate
way.
competitive for a second. Hold on. So, like, do people race against each other, and it was like
They
whoever
may.
finished first?
They
Like,
may.
is that the competitive aspect of it?
I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of endurance happening.
Right? Like, are there games?
There might be games. The most important question is there prizes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna look into this. I'll get back to you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll write another Summergrave song about it. Sorry, I apologize. This got out of hand.
Dude, it's all good. um I don't even mind the segues, man.
Dan's probably wishing he proofread my lyrics now.
He's gonna look back after everything's released and be
It's all about jerking off.
the whole thing.
The whole thing. He lied about all of that anxiety stuff.
He's not playing golf.
I miss playing golf. I really do. I wish I could play it right now.
He's using his wood, but it's not golf.
There it is. Well done.
Thank you.
So how about you? Are you writing still?
Dude, I never stop writing. Yeah, it's been a slow burn for me, but I've been writing since high school. I have shit that I wrote 23 years ago that's never seen the light of day. So
Sure, same.
So yeah, the goal is next year to at least at the very least get some music out. You know,
yeah, man.
I'd love to put a band together. I would love to kind of have those wheels in motion, but it is what it is, man. I am so burnt out on the whole like being in a band thing.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, sometimes it genuinely is. It's such a gratifying experience at the live shows, but it's everything behind the scenes. It's like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, I hate posting to social media so much. Like, it's the worst, and I have to do it to get like anyone to listen to this shit, or else there's no like tape trading anymore. There's no real word of mouth, especially with how many bands there are, and like for it to have not like a fighting chance, but like just to get some ears to it, just so I can get a little bit of feedback to stroke my ego. I gotta make an Instagram.
I see a lot of bands now, and the things that they post on social media, I'm just like, you don't look happy doing this. Like, you guys are forcing the shit out of it. You don't look happy. You look like you don't want to do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like what is it really doing for you? What's it really kicking back your way? And if it works, it works. But I cringe every time I see bands that are like writing kind of almost like skits and making everything all performative and professionally recorded. It's like, dude, just have fun with your music. That's what it's all about. Like, your opportunities are gonna be there, but your music should be speaking louder than like some bullshit you're putting on Instagram or TikTok.
Sure. I mean, there's a time and a place, definitely. Now,
yeah,
I personally would never shy away from doing a skit. I think I like that, but that's just like, the kind of comedy I'm into or whatever. Yeah, I like it when bands are a little bit like multifaceted, or like they're a little like Easter eggs about like the lore of the band or certain things like that. Or I like to like work in like a television reference or like something into like the song title or into like a lyric here or there. Like, I like that type of shit. But like when it's like, all right, I'm gonna shake my ass and do a TikTok dance for you, and you come check out my metal band. It's kind of lame.
So, case in point.
Really, what it comes down to is just.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Sorry. I was just. It comes down to just being authentic. Like, when you could tell that bands are just kind of like whoring themselves out there just to get attention, and none of it's authentic. Like, I hate that stuff. Like, when you see that all over social media.
Yeah.
But like having a humor and a skit like you're talking about, Matt. But like, if you could tell it's like part of their personality, I think that's great. I think people connect more when they see it like that. But so much stuff is just not genuine out there, and it's so forced and so fake. I hate seeing all that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that like a lot of bands feel like they have to post, so they just run themselves out of ideas to post just because they have to post something. As opposed to like what you were saying, Matt, about like throwing a little Easter egg about band lore or using a TV or movie reference. And I was going to reference you guys with the Rumham.
Yeah,
Dude, I love that. The first time I saw that, I thought it was the
right.
funniest shit, and it's a
Yeah,
good song too. But it drew me in to be like, oh, I'm gonna check this out. I want to see
yeah.
what
We
these
went a
guys
little
are
wild
about.
on that. Yeah, that album's a little crazy. But yeah, no, man, I like that a lot, and I like meta humor and
Yeah,
like things that like are able to acknowledge themselves for what they are and be self-aware to a certain degree. It just adds an extra level for me.
yeah. Yeah, you can always tell who's doing it because they feel like that's the only way to do it, and you can tell who's doing it because they're genuinely like they have a good sense of humor and it carries.
Yeah,
Um, and like, I feel bad for bands that are actually really working this way because the rules of social media posting have changed so much over the last couple of years. And by that I mean like the last two
yeah,
specifically. It used to be like, yeah, you can post, these are your hot spots for the week based on your statistics. Don't post too much, but don't post too little. And now it's like you should be posting something every single time you open an app. You should be ready to have some sort of content going 24/7. And it's like that's exhausting. That's not
absolutely.
that's not being in a band, that's being a shill. And like at that point it's like people are watching your shit just to see your videos. They're not paying attention to the music. And I don't know. I feel like being in a band, like the music should be the thing.
Sure.
But
And there are definitely a lot of bands where that is the case too, because there are bands I listen to that obviously aren't doing that.
yeah,
At the local level, it's kind of like a bit of a it's really competitive,
yeah,
and
it
in
is.
order to get your friends and their friend to tell even one other person about it is almost next to impossible sometimes.
Yeah.
So the pressure to just keep posting and getting in people's faces, I get it.
Hmm.
And I got some advice one time from my friend Tom. He was telling me, if you want people to listen to Patterns of Decay, you got to go to shows. You got to say, "Hey, what's up? I'm Matt from Patterns of Decay. Um, you know, check us out. See what we're all about. Blah blah blah." And that terrified the living shit out of me, so I never ever did it. And I wonder, if it is just that simple, and if that would have opened more doors, for us in terms of opportunity,
Well,
as opposed to social media.
some say it probably would have opened a house of doors.
Yeah, yeah, they
Ah,
would. Very nice.
Oh, thank you. No, yeah, that's the way it used to be, and I was of the same mindset because, like, you would always find me at a show. You'd always find me traveling somewhere to go to a show because it's not just me I'm promoting. I want to support my friends too, you know.
Sure.
Like, I think one of the last times I actually caught Patterns, I drove out to Brooklyn to see you guys at Lucky 13 with Nick Kern before
Oh,
he
nice.
moved. And it's fun doing that kind of stuff, man. Like,
Sure.
not a lot of people are going to take the trip out, especially if it's like more than a half hour out of their way. So,
100%.
and
I don't
that's
want
the
to drive to Brooklyn. Are
no,
you kidding
hell
me?
no. The drive to Brooklyn sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like it's so close and they make it so difficult to get to.
you know what the problem is? You can't bring your equipment on a train. That's what
Yeah.
makes it difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but like, it's
I'm not doing that shit. Are you
no,
serious?
no. It's risky. It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
I don't even think it's like, like fine, try to steal it. It's 1,000 pounds.
Right. But yeah, dude, like I used to always find myself at local shows, whether it be at Rev or AMH or Shakers or I mean the Crazy Donkey when that was around, dude. I
Oh,
was
rest
there weekly.
in- yeah.
And I don't see a lot of that happening. Like you see a lot of people that do go to shows still, but when I was doing it, it really wasn't I wouldn't run into many people from other bands unless they were
Yeah.
playing.
I can't, I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of touch, but Patterns has been a band for 10 years. We played our fair share of shows. I just don't know how popular metal is on Long Island.
Hmm.
But then again, I've been to shows that have bodies there, man.
Yeah.
And I think the promotion's not there. I don't know if enough people know that these things are happening where, instead of just staying in for the night, they're like, no, I'll go to the show, you know?
Yeah.
I've always thought that, like, there's so many times when like a friend's band is played and I'm finding out on Instagram 2 days later, and it's like, oh, I would have gone to that,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, so that's where I understand the hokey promotion stuff. It's like you're getting word out, but you got to make sure your people know too, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
Um, because that is an issue, and I've had the same issues that like you find out about shows and it's like, well, shit, that passed already. And I'm talking about like Nine Inch Nails too. I knew they were playing. I didn't know
Right.
it was last night and tonight until you said something to me yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
I had
Damn.
no clue, dude. I knew
Yeah.
they were going to be here soon, but I didn't know it
Sure.
was that soon.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always missing that kind of stuff. That's probably, on my own accord because I'm not, I'm
It
not
depends.
on.
Some bands you really do need to follow pretty closely in order to make sure you get the drop on tickets. Like my girl got tickets to that like 8 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Like to the point where like we forgot about it,
Yeah.
and then it came back, and last night it was awesome. I had a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, this
They put on such a good show every single time.
yeah, man.
And Trent, I mean, he's a huge inspiration in terms of like the home recording artist doing everything himself. Like that's huge, man. That's so cool.
Sure.
And he's been doing it for so long. But
Yeah, he's great.
yeah, man, their live shows are second to none, really.
Yeah, it was a cool. They had a really cool light show. A
Yeah.
lot cool stuff. They had two stages where they're running back and forth between one and the other between
Oh, damn.
songs. Yeah, it was cool.
That's
Cool.
awesome. um Yeah, so now Dan, up north, I don't know much about like the metal scene or the music scene really. Um I know a little bit about New Hampshire, and it's kind of a weird scene. Like it's there, but it's not there like it is on Long Island, where it's like you go out to a club. Like there's a lot of metal accepted in public, like in street fairs and stuff down there. Um, but that's also New Hampshire. I don't know shit about Vermont. It seems kind of desolate up there.
Yeah, there's nothing in Vermont, like
Nothing.
literally nothing. Yeah, it's a shame too. But yeah, New Hampshire definitely has a bit of a scene. I've worked with a few bands in New Hampshire. Actually, Matt got me paired up with a band from New Hampshire that I've gotten really really close with, and I've worked on a kind of all their stuff for the last several years. But there's a good scene in New Hampshire. Even there's a decent scene. It seems like it kind of bypassed Vermont for whatever reason. No one wants to play, but
Shout
yeah.
out to
No,
Cybercon,
New England
by the way.
does have a scene. Exactly, Cytokine, the boys in Cytokine.
Oh yeah, dude, they're nuts. I
Mhm.
just stumbled upon them 2 weeks ago, and they blew my mind, man.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Daniel's
really?
work, most likely.
What's up?
I said that was your
That's
work.
my work.
Yeah, I forget what song. I featured it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and yeah, dude, I kind of went down a rabbit hole of like starting with excuse me, with one band's flyer for a show they were playing, and I found my way out like to where they're touring, started picking bands off of other show flyers, and I found my way going up to New Hampshire with that, and I found them, and I was like, this is fucking awesome, man. There's so much good underground music that's out there that needs the light of day. um Another like I played with the band in New Hampshire called the Bottomobile. I don't know if you know who they are. They're in
Never heard of them.
they're
No.
from Keene, but solid band, horror movie theme. They're similar to what I guess Long Island has with Uchikatsu.
Oh, okay.
Um, Everything is horror movie based. Everything is like gore. It's cool, but their songs are very well written. It's like a three-piece band. Their bassist plays an upright most of the time, and their drummer plays mostly an e-kit, but sometimes he plays a hybrid, I believe. And they have a screen behind them and a TV in front of them playing horror movies and stuff that they sync up to their music. Like wild live show.
That's
Great
cool.
stuff.
I
But
fuck with that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So big shout out to Lobotomobile. um so now assuming, Dan, since there's no scene up there, you probably don't have a project up there, right? Like you're not really performing or anything.
No. There's no even venues to play at. There used to be
Oh wow.
one place out in Brattleboro, which is like an hour and a half for me. Um, but even that closed down. So there's literally there's nothing. There's
Dude,
nothing.
that sucks.
Yeah, that's why I kind of just sit in my cave and I mix all this music for metal bands. So at least I get to pretend like I'm in like everyone's metal band for a little bit while I work on their songs.
Right. Man, that's rough. I thought we had it bad down here, Matt.
Oh man, I mean, this is a bustling scene compared to to what's going on up there, man.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching all of our venues close. Like, wow, we have almost nothing left, and like you quite literally have nothing up there. Huh?
There's nothing. There's nothing.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
you gotta be
nothing
grateful.
like I'd have to go to like New Hampshire or something. I don't even think there's anything in the state really. I think Albany actually has. I think I've heard Albany has a pretty good uh, metal scene, but even that's an hour and a half for me. So
Yeah, so Albany, New York has a pretty good scene. Syracuse has a good underground scene, and Rochester too.
mm,
But I don't know. They lost a couple of venues too, but they're also really big on outdoor stuff up there. But there's always something happening. So
Sure.
I'm sure you could find your way if you're willing to travel. It just sucks that you have to travel for it. But so now are you? I mean, I'm assuming you're constantly taking clients, right, Dan? Like you're
yeah,
working with a lot of bands.
yeah. I'm always looking to work with new bands, and I get a lot of the same bands working with me and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm always looking to work with any type of heavy music. That's what I live and breathe, and that's
Yeah,
when I open my studio, it's like I'm not doing pop, I'm not doing anything like that. It's like it's got to be metal. That's why I live and breathe.
good for you for having integrity like that, dude. There's so many that I've run into that it's like, yeah, we focus on rock and metal, but we really do anything. I'm like, but you got to have something you specialize in. You got to be something that you're better at over the rest. So like, what am I going to give you my money for? You know?
Exactly.
um, that's cool though. What's the name of your thing? I want to shout that out.
Liquid Studios.
Liquid Studios. Okay. And what town are you located in?
I'm in Dorset, Vermont.
Dorset, Vermont. Okay, cool. I'll make sure to like drop a tag on
Awesome. Appreciate it.
that. So, Matt, what do you guys have coming up down here?
Uh, as far as Summergrave or Patterns.
Either or, man.
Okay,
Tell me about the music.
sure. So I mean, I got another Pattern single coming out Friday. Shit, 2 days from now. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
it snuck up on me, right? And like doing the two bands at once is a little bit, it's like, oh fuck, I got I got to remember all these dates, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm logged into Summergrave. I can't post that. That's for Patterns, and it's making my mental health, even better. But yeah, so the Blessed Defilement. That's our next single for Patterns. That comes out on Friday, streaming everywhere. We shot a video with Sean Ageman of Washed Up Media for that
Very
one.
cool.
That's going to be coming out in like a month or so. This one is definitely Black Dahlia Murder, from Timu. And then, yeah, it's an Elden Ring reference, the title. And the title has nothing to do with the lyrics, which is usually how it goes with our band. But yeah, I'm excited to get that out there. And then we have two more Summergrave songs that we're going to push over the next few months. And then from there, we'll see. The sky's the limit. I got songs written, and I don't know whether I'm going to push them towards the Pattern side or towards the Summergrave side. And I'm excited to get back to writing with Dan because I think the two of us really work well together.
That's awesome. I'm very excited for all of it, man. I love
Thanks,
that like you guys I mean you guys as Patterns, you guys as Summergrave, you are working. That's so cool that to see bands that are working and collaborating and stuff.
Sure. I
Um
mean, it. I feel like you go through like 1 to 2 to 3 year droughts, and then the new
Of
music
course.
finally, it comes back. Like we started. I wrote some of these songs as far as like 2.5 years ago,
Wow.
and they're just seeing the light of day now in certain cases. Some
Yeah.
of them are more recent than that, but I don't think anything is under a year. Maybe the vocals, I finally put some finishing touches on the Summergrave stuff recently, but otherwise, yeah, everything had been demoed for a long time.
That's cool, man. I'm glad it's finally coming out.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's got to be rewarding, especially
Yeah,
sitting on it for so long, man. That's
sure.
that's great. Um, so now, when you record with Patterns, do you guys work together, or do you have somewhere else you go, or
So Dan has handled every Patterns release except for the one that we're releasing this time. We've been a band for 11 years, and we were like,
yeah,
we're just, we wanted to try something different with our recording process. I'd known Lepardo for a few years at this point, so we wanted
yeah,
to give Westfall a try. And it was cool seeing a different perspective on our music. And yeah, it was a cool opportunity that we've been a band for so long that we've been able to work with Dan as long as we have. But I felt like we owed it to ourselves just to, try something different this time recording. And last time we recorded an album, it was during COVID. And we went up to Vermont. We went to different studios on Long Island. Dan came down. It was a really cool experience. We did 12 songs, and then that's gonna be memories I cherish forever, because that was the self-titled Patterns of Decay album is this huge album. It's the most music we ever put out at once, and then these three pattern songs that we're putting together for this EP. I don't know if there are going to be any more patterns releases down the line. So I was like, let's try something different, something we haven't done before. And we went to Westfall, and those guys, they knocked it out of the park as well. And I'm just fortunate that I've been able to work with so many talented people who are just awesome at mixing metal.
yeah. That's awesome. Westfall has been killing it.
Sure,
um,
man.
Everything that they've been putting out the past few years has just been incredible work. So kudos to Lepardo and the boys, because they're crushing right now.
Yeah, I think the songs sound evil, man, and I think they are a pretty good representation of the emotions we were putting behind it.
Mm,
And much like I think Dan did the same thing with Summergrave and our songs, he was the man to handle that job, and it sounds different from the Patterns mix, which I fucking love, because I was able to put out two things that don't sound alike, and I totally trust him sonically.
that's awesome. Yeah, you gotta trust your engineer. And Dan, I'm sure you experienced that a lot too. Like you have to build up a good rapport with your clients. Super important to make them feel, comfortable and that you have their best interest in mind, because trust goes so fucking far in the studio.
Oh yeah, and I always try and tell any band I work with, it's like, don't think of it like, okay, you're just sending me your tracks and I'm mixing it. It's like, no, we're a team. Like, you need to be proud of this. I want to be proud of this. I want us all to be proud of this. It's kind of all of our body of work. So it's like, let's work together and let's put out the best fucking product we can. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of my philosophy.
So now you specialize with metal music. Is there any subgenre of metal that you feel like you really enjoy working with, or just the heavier the better, or like what's your
Uh,
favorite?
um, I don't know if I really kind of fall into one particular style. I mean, I guess just from my personal preferences, I always like kind of like the more metalcore type sound, groove metal, that kind of stuff. But no, I kind of work on it all, man, and I like that. I like not kind of being pigeonholed or tied down to one particular sound. There's so much diversity within metal, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what keeps it fresh. I could be working on like a death metal album, and then I could be doing something that's closer to like pop punk or something like that. And I kind of like that it's not just all the same coming out, because then you can start to kind of phone it in if you're always working on the same type of stuff.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, there's enough similarity within genres and subgenres right now that it could very easily just be something you get lost in doing. Um, but there, I mean, I don't know your clientele, unfortunately. I wish I did because I would love to hear the stuff that you're putting out. But there's so much diversity happening within music, and like subgenres are kind of transcending each other, blending together. But at the same time, a lot of it does end up sounding very like overproduced. Like you have the bands that are trying to sound like Bring Me the Horizon from 2008, and then bands that are trying to sound like Bring Me the Horizon from today. It's like same band, but drastically different sound. Technically still metal, but like it's kind of
Technically, I guess. I don't know.
in a
Sometimes I
way.
catch my girlfriend listening to like the more recent Bring Me the Horizon stuff, and by recent I mean I guess like 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm like, yeah, it's pop. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got like hints of metal, like it's peppered with
Yeah.
metal. But I don't think as a whole that you could call the body of work metal. I
Right.
don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like I listen to Poppy, right? And
Right.
Poppy's pop as fuck, but she's like heavier than fucking Bring Me the Horizon at this point.
Yeah.
And
Well,
at
when she wants to be.
sure, fair enough. Uh, but like it's pop, and it's not a metal band anymore necessarily. I think even Brent Hines, R.I.P., said the same thing about Mastodon. He's like, we're not a metal band. Maybe we were.
Mhm.
I'm probably misquoting, but it's that overproduced sound is not my favorite necessarily, but sometimes it just slaps. I will admit.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's just a cure for the itch. Sometimes it's like, yeah, all right, it's overdone, but it's overdone the right way.
Right,
Feels
exactly.
good.
Like a bad horror movie or something like that. Like it's so bad it's good, or like it's so cheesy it's good.
Yeah.
I call it
Or
the Limp Bizkit zone, and you know,
don't be hating on Limp Bizkit, dude.
no, I can't. I will not. I'm genetically, I cannot do it. I love that band so much, unironically, unapologetically.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit's one of the greatest bands ever, and I will stand by that forever.
Sure, I'll kill someone. Uh huh.
Yeah, it it's interesting because metal now, with the Bring Me the Horizon being what they are now, with bands like Amity Affliction being what they are now, bands like Sleep Token, they're bringing so many new people into metal who wrote it off years ago. um but at the same time, it's like, to the people who've kind of been here a while, it's like you either love it or you hate it. You're either in or you're out. It's kind
Sure. I
of
mean, yeah. If you've been here a while, cool. What do you want? A fucking trophy for liking metal or being alive longer than someone else? Like,
no, you know what I mean.
yeah,
Not from like a gatekeeping standpoint. It's like
sure, sure,
the acknowledgement of a little bit of like extra fluff in metal music. Like it's not full on what I would call metal, but it's not necessarily what I would call bad either. It's a cool
sure.
like kind of bridge that a lot of people are getting into this heavier stuff now. Um
You got to
using
start somewhere, man.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't start with metal. I liked, I don't know, like Collective Soul. That was one of the first bands
Yeah.
I remember listening to, and that song "Shine" kind of has like a metal riff. That
Oh yeah.
that's a stanky ass riff,
Yep.
and I just I think you have to start somewhere, and uh, I could see how that type of music's not everybody's cup of tea, but one day they're listening to that, and then the next day they're trying out Cannibal Corpse.
Right. Yeah, I feel like those bands are important. It's basically what I was trying to say. It's that those bands are important to the genre because they're keeping it alive and they're keeping it growing. It's just that you don't want people to get the wrong idea or a preconceived notion about what that band represents.
Sure.
Like if you go to a Sleep Token show and you hear Vessel like rapping with auto tune and like super soaked shit like with the vocals, and then you go to see them like let's say at a festival, the next band up is Slipknot, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, we tried to warn you, we tried to tell you that like the metal genre is a little bit more than Sleep Token, you know, it's a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
mean,
It's a little bit more than like the big pop bridges. Like it does get heavier. It does get a little scarier.
I think, people should do their research, if they're getting into heavier music, and but I could see people who just like Sleep Token for what they are, and then they go home when Slipknot comes on, you
Yeah,
know, and
that's fair too.
yeah, it's they're not particularly my cup of tea. I gave them a good try. Like I've listened to a
Yeah.
few albums, and I was like, this sounds like Cher. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. Cher's a good artist. Um, she doesn't necessarily open up this pit, but you know, it's fine. It's okay. It's a little poppy. It's like I said at one time, it's Imagine Dragons for people who like architects, and I don't know if that's mean or punching down, um, but I think it's accurate.
So, are you telling me that you've never seen anyone throw bows at a Cher concert?
Uh,
Because,
I'm
brother,
a
you
little too
haven't
young
lived.
for that. I'm sure it's happened.
Circle
Cher
pits
fans
that
get
do you
rowdy.
believe in love?
I believe in life after love.
Yeah, man. I don't know. With Sleep Token, I did same. I listened to them open-mindedly. I don't necessarily love the new stuff, but Take Me Back to Eden was a great album. I'll give
Yeah,
them that. I thoroughly enjoyed that album. But
I like their vibe. I like their aesthetic. I dig the art that comes along with it.
yeah, it's a
Um,
very cool image, I
yeah,
think. You
totally.
know?
Yeah, and all the power to them. They're successful as hell. I feel like them and President. They're like a band that they're jamming it down my throat a little bit. Some of these publications, but also like good, get it out there. I don't really give a shit. You
Hmm.
know, who am I?
President is a band that I honestly don't give a fuck about.
They really
I
want you to, though. Oh my
Dude,
god.
they really do. And like I can't. Every single time I see President, I think of I think you should leave with
Yeah,
Carl Havoc. Like
yeah. I
I
know what
can't
you're
take him
talking about.
seriously.
Yeah, he's got too much fucking shit on him.
The chin kills, dude.
Sorry, Dan. You got to watch. I think you should leave. It's gonna change your vocabulary, and you're gonna
Oh
annoy
my god, dude.
everybody you love.
Such a good show. But yeah, President, like if they didn't have if they weren't being force fed to us and they just kind of happened naturally, I feel like they would have done pretty good. But
Yeah,
it's the fact that they're just like, you have to love President. This is the new best band that you've ever heard. This is
and
President. You have to listen to them. I'm like, it's all right.
I think the fact that I haven't listened to a single President song kind of speaks to the fact that marketing doesn't always work.
Yeah,
Um, I don't want to check them out now. And I
yeah,
think I think every person has like that little petulant child inside them where like, don't tell me what to do. And it's like, it's just so obvious that like they're pushing these guys.
yeah.
And, I don't know who they know in the industry or what prior projects they're probably from other bands or if it's just the one dude. Um, but it just seems phony, and you know there's a gimmick attached to the band. It's not like some dudes wearing jeans or something like that. And
Exactly.
whereas like Slipknot, it seemed way more authentic, even though it's nine dudes in masks, beating the shit out of each other on stage.
Yep.
And I I just, it was just really transparent, and I think that's what turned me off. And it sucks because I didn't check out their music as a result.
The words industry plant get thrown around a lot nowadays, and some people hit the money right, they get it right on the head, but other people kind of overuse the phrase.
Sure.
of course, we see it a ton in pop music. That's what the pop industry is built on, is people that are a pretty face that don't even have to sing. They just get put out on a stage because they're going to sell a record or two, or 10 to 20 million, whatever. But um, in metal music, it's not necessarily an industry plant situation. Like they have to have some notoriety behind them to say like, okay, I'm someone worth investing in. But yeah, something like President, it's like, all right, they're everywhere. I'm gonna check them out out of morbid curiosity. Like I don't
Sure.
want to, I don't have a vested interest, but like just for shits, I'm gonna see if they can actually play.
Yeah.
And truth be told, like I listened to their one song and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. You know,
Hmm.
um, I forget the name of the song. I think it was called Father or Dear Father or something. It's like, all right, yeah, it's exactly like Sleep Token, exactly like auto tune on the vocals, heavy, genty riffs, and it's just kind of generic. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, I guess
It's too
if
bad.
yeah, it could be cool. It could be way cooler. Maybe like their when their actual album drops, it'll be a little better for a less niche crowd. But it's the same damn thing. And like I feel like they're kind of a plant. I feel like they're
Yeah.
kind of just
I
put
feel
out
like
there, and
I
that's
heard
it.
about them like 150 times, and then I saw a post, and it was like they're playing their first show,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
Like this is backward. Like that's not how, you know, it's not how it normally goes. But
Yeah.
whatever. If the music eventually turns into something good that pushes music or makes people feel things, and
Hmm.
makes maybe people feel a little bit better, then who am I again? But it just, yeah, it's not something for me. I didn't like really being sold
Yeah.
on them, and yeah, I hope that I hope that's not a trend that necessarily continues, but I think it will be. I think
Yeah.
that's just the way it's going to be. I feel like, these labels are going to shop new artists to the publications, and the publications are going to be like, yeah, these are the ones that the label is really pushing, and we're going to push them, and we're going to see how far we can take it. And then after months of hype, they'll play their first show.
Yeah, we definitely see that model happen more and more lately, where it's like, yeah, okay, we have this built up suspense, and now finally, after we know people are going to be there, out of that curiosity, they'll play the show. It's
Right.
like, it's honestly, are either of you guys wrestling fans?
I mean, when I was a kid, I liked it. I haven't followed up in a
So
while.
then it's probably going to be a failed analogy, but like when you're waiting for like the next wrestler to come in. Like it's just like this vignette package. They put like little promos together, and it's like this is so exciting, this is so exciting, and then when it happens, it's like oh shit, it fucking happened. With music, it's like yeah, it's happening, but it's happening all the time now. So
Mhm.
there's not really anything that's standing out because it's happening quite literally all the fucking time. And like if your first show as a band is at like Download, you know,
Sure.
or you know,
Yeah.
that's not a first show that most bands get. That's a
Right.
show that's like you have money behind you getting you that show, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Um I'm sure Matt, I know you at least are a child of the internet here, but like that dude the married in a year in the suburbs guy, the hooting and hollering kid with the acoustic guitar.
No, no,
No.
man. No.
Well, I'm sure it'll be in your fucking algorithm at this point, but
Yeah. Yeah. When I open my
um,
phone, I'm gonna see it.
he had this one song, and he quite literally looks like a youth group leader.
Hmm.
But it's him with like 200 people with their phone flashlights out, filming him at like a campfire, pitch black out, and he sounds like the most possible vibrato you could possibly put in your voice, singing these corny ass lyrics. But this dude had a viral hit, and he played, I think, the Washington D.C. Warp Tour
Oh yeah.
2 months after this video came out.
Nice.
That the video was all 45 seconds long, but they threw him right out on the big stage playing in front of God knows how many people.
Wow.
But it's like I feel like we're making the wrong people famous.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's that's just the culture.
Yeah.
You know, you get the viral video, and then people latch onto you, and it's like, oh, it's that guy from the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you kind of so name recognition. I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
that's what helps you break through all the noise, but it's not very organic.
No, it's not very honest either. That's the thing that really bugs me. It's like,
Yeah, I can't blame the artist though.
no, not entirely.
You know, if you get involved with the music industry, they're going to get their hooks in you, and they're going to
Yeah.
sell you because they want to make money. That's their fucking job. You know, it's a
Well, yeah, it's a
music
business.
industry has never really been solid to their artists. You know, like
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's definitely not getting any better now. So
You could
I
probably
feel
say
bad,
say it's gotten objectively worse through the
sure,
years.
yeah, with Spotify and everything, and
It's not even necessarily about Spotify. It's what these producers are doing to their artists and how the industry is kind of chewing them up and spitting them out. Because, like, if the music industry model shifted to incorporate things like Spotify and Apple Music, it would be fine. Artists would be getting paid exactly what they deserve to be paid. There would be no controversy about it. But because the music industry model never shifted away from like the physical music,
mhm.
um, like I hate to bring it back to Lars Ulrich, but he predicted it. He said it fucking 1997. He said there was going to be a problem with streaming, and everyone called him crazy and laughed at him. And now in 2025, dude was spot on. Like
But he is crazy.
he's
And you
crazy,
should
but
laugh at him.
Lars is a fucking genius, dude.
He's not a genius at the fucking drums, I'll tell you that.
No.
But yeah, man, no, that's cool. Good for Lars selling his paintings and not laundering money at all. There's a part in some kind of monster where I think Lars asks his dad right about how the album, and his dad
Delete
just goes,
that.
delete that.
Yep.
When we were
Delete that.
recording the Patterns album with Dan, we just kept saying that the whole delete that.
Oh man,
dude, that documentary was unfucking hinged.
You know, it was wild, and it saved their fucking careers. I think
It did.
you know, they were able to put out a dog shit album and still be the biggest band in the planet, and you know, that's saying a lot.
They it's weird because they dropped Stay in Anger and everybody's like, oh, this album sucks. It's so weird. Like, if you cut through the fact that it's Metallica, it's a great metal album. If you
Yeah.
cut through the god awful drum production on that, it's a good metal album. But it's not a
I'll
great
take your word for it.
but it's not a great Metallica album, you know.
Sure.
But then they dropped Lulu and everyone's like, Stay in Anger's not all that bad. Stay in Anger actually kind of slaps.
I never listened to Lulu pretty much because of the word of mouth.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Dan?
I have not.
Yeah.
I heard James Hetfield yell the words, I am the table. And I was like, I don't need to hear this. I'm done. I don't need to hate my favorite band, dude.
Yeah. Suddenly my lifestyle determines my death style isn't so bad.
Well, to be fair, James didn't even write that. That was all Kirk.
Yeah, right? Yeah, weren't they like talking about shit and he was like, oh, I like it.
Dude, they had
James
the
gave
therapist writing.
He gave it the okay.
Vocals on it too.
What did you say, Matt?
Oh, I said that
the band's therapist gave it the okay.
No, James gave him the okay. It seemed like he was reading those lyrics. He was like, yeah, that's the most profound shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, my favorite part of that entire documentary is he quit the fucking band.
Yeah, man. Oh my god. Like what a roller coaster. That made some good cinema though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I would still sit down to watch that today.
And
This
I
is
love
a good movie.
The Metalocalypse episode, kind of like spoofing it with they get like a therapist and he gives them banana stickers and that keeps them calm.
Kirk was in Metalocalypse, wasn't he? He's
Probably.
like one of the first episodes, I think.
Oh yeah? Oh, I gotta look into that. That's cool.
I think
that was a cool show.
I think he played like a librarian or some shit, if I'm not mistaken. But I know like they had a lot of cameos in there from people. But Metalocalypse was kind of a it was like a caricature of what metal music actually is. So
Yeah, but it was cool because at least someone was talking about metal. Like I always get
yeah,
hyped
dude.
when someone's actually bringing it up and it gets a little bit of the sunshine for a second, crawls out underneath its rock. Like nobody fucking likes this music, man. And it's not true, but I mean, like by and large, when I talk to people I know and have met, like a lot of my friends, they're not into metal, and it's kind of like when someone tries to talk to me about sports, and I just I kind of glaze over, like I have no dog in that fight. But yeah, it's cool when metal gets a little bit of recognition.
I love it because it's happening more, where it's becoming a more accepted thing. Um, I will say though, as much as the scene in Stranger Things made me cringe, that did so much for incorporating a very popular metal song and bringing it to the mainstream. So many people heard Master of Puppets for the first time that never would have heard it otherwise. So,
Sure.
as absolutely gross as that scene was to me, I was like, all right, I appreciate the shit out of the fact that they're at least exposing them to Metallica. Um, but you see it like even fucking SpongeBob had a metal song, dude. Pantera did a song for SpongeBob.
That's
So,
pretty sick. And the movie Friendship with Tim Robinson that came out,
yes. Oh my God, the whole thing was
all of a sudden
Slipknot.
Slipknot, and it's just like, oh my god. I was
Dude,
so stoked.
yeah, I think I think I was like one of very few in the theater that night that was like, well, why is no one else losing their shit over this? This
I
is
was
so fucking
dying.
funny.
Oh my god.
And if it wasn't Slipknot, it was just like brutal death metal. Like, dude, that movie, I feel like it got slept on. But
That movie was never going to reach a wide audience. Dan, if you want to feel alienated, you should check out this film. And it's basically like a long "I think you should leave" sketch,
yeah.
and it's 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 wild. But I dug it. It's right on my alley. It's right in my Q zone.
Dude, it was so funny, but so offbeat and so dark at the same time. Like that was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, man.
But great soundtrack. Nonetheless, fantastic soundtrack. But um yeah, it is cool though to see like when metal does emerge in places you don't expect it to. Because you always get one of two reactions. You get this reaction of that was fucking awesome, or you get the other reaction of like a scared soccer mom. And it's funny that metal is still stigmatized as being this like Satan worshiping shit that's gonna make you kill your family and shoot up your school. And it's like, no, it never has been. It's never been that level of like go out and do this. It's always been thought provoking, but it's never been like you know encouraging violence. Well, I mean, unless you're Varg, but
Yeah. No, you're right though. I mean, it's weird how much of that satanic panic is still kind of around.
yeah,
And you know, I feel like most of the metalheads you meet, they're just regular
Hmm.
people. Um, and it's just another thing for people to be into. And
yeah,
it doesn't have to be
Hmm.
good or evil either way. The
right.
lyrics, they're all just an exercise in poetic expression, and it's
And
cool to explore that stuff, and I
it's
don't think it
also
causes any harm.
some of the best storytelling you'll ever hear if you get really
Sure.
invested in the lyrics. It's
Totally.
great storytelling. Um, Especially like if you listen to bands like Maiden or Sabaton, right? Like they're real into the history stuff, but they will tell you a fucking history lesson in their music. But people are gonna hear the heavy guitars and drums and assume that it's like, oh, they're trying to fill your head with like satanic shit. No, it's not. Just get your fucking mind off of that. Like such a small amount of this music is actually about things about destruction, about Satan, about religion in general. Like people have really tried to steer away from all of that over the last few years. And dare I say people have actually learned how to write a fucking song. not to say that any of it in the past was bad. It's just like there's only so much of one thing you can hear about before it's time for a change. And I'm
Sure.
glad that people are using this to really express themselves now more than like someone else's opinions. Because it was with any genre of music, it's like it's kind of regurgitated at some point. Someone else has already said it a million times, and before them, someone else said it. It's like let's try something new. Let's write something
Sure.
new. Let's do something fresh. Let's keep people interested. You know.
Even if you're doing the same subject matter, as long as it's authentic, it comes across, and like that, you're good to go.
Hmm. And Dan, I feel bad. You've been so quiet, dude.
Sorry, bud.
Well, my internet keeps like crapping in and out, so like there's periods of time where I'm just kind of missing out and stuff like that. So I'm like, but I'm hanging on, I'm hanging on.
So, what's your opinion on everything we talked about for the last 20 minutes?
My opinion? Well, no, my opinion in metal in general, honestly, is there's two things. One of the things that always drew me to metal music in general is just the fact that from the vast majority of metal bands, like it's actual group of guys like and girls writing music. It's not like a room of producers for the vast majority sitting there calculating every move like you see in pop and stuff like that, where it's like you had said earlier, like they just find someone who's the face, and it's really just vehicle for these producers to put something out there, and then they make all these millions of dollars. It's like I could play guitar, but not those songs that my favorite bands. Like that was the talent, was like these musicians coming together and writing music together and writing awesome songs, and that's what I think is so cool about metal. But my internet's crapping out again. Did you?
I can hear you.
Did you catch any of me talking?
Yeah, we got
we
what
can
you're
hear
saying.
everything.
You're like,
Oh, you can hear me. You just can't see me.
Yeah.
Oh,
You kind of froze in place, but we heard everything you said.
okay. At least you heard it. I don't know.
Beautifully
It's
spoken.
coming up and getting all funny like that. You know what it is? It's this like living in Vermont, man. My backwoods. My internet's shit. Um, yeah, it's something I deal with. But yeah, no, that's what I've always been drawn to is like the fact that it's actual musicians writing music, and I think that we don't have enough of that in music in general today. And then talking about like people still being so fearful and thinking it's like the devil's music and stuff like that. My wife couldn't like metal any less than she does, and she's had to put up with certainly the years that I was running like a full studio out of the house. She's had to come across and talk to so many metal bands and metalheads, and she said that you won't find a gentler person than like a metalhead, and it kind of is true. I don't know if it's because they get all their aggression out in the music or what it is, but I find it too. The vast majority of metalheads are just nice people. It's so opposite of the stigma that they put on the stereotypical metalhead. It's like it's just not true.
I think it's because a lot of the time, there is so much aggression in metal music that it's cathartic for everyone to listen to because it's given everyone that sense of like I belong here. And at everyone's hearts, I'd like to believe anyway that everyone is a good-natured person. So if you are in a space where you feel comfortable, surrounded by people that you like or situations you like, you're not going to be someone who is an aggressor. You're going to be someone who's comfortable and accepted. And acceptance is a huge thing in the metal community. Um, whether you are someone that deals with like mental health and anxiety, if you're someone who deals with like suicidal tendencies, or if you're someone who has a bad home life, or even if everything is great for you and you need a place to go. Like metal's always been a very welcoming thing, and I feel like a lot of metal heads exude that as well. Um, Not to get on a pedestal here or anything, it's just I feel like metal's been home for so many people that people are always willing to open that home up to others. I feel like there's always a certain level of respect given out by metalheads that we aren't often given. So
Mm.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but at least that's how I see it.
I see what you mean, and I always love being able to share metal with people and just try to see if I could turn them on to it.
Yep.
And just be like, all right, don't listen to vocals. Don't worry about the vocals for right now. Just listen to everything else. See what you feel about that. and then we'll just gradually add the vocals back in, and you'll, you might like it. I think, it's a cool thing to share with people. Going to a concert is like, for me, the experience is second to none.
Yeah.
Being part of that, you know, uh, crowd surfing, moshing, all that shit. Like, I love it. It's really fun. And it's not because I'm an angry person, but it's, we're all digging the same music. We're digging the same vibe, the same spirit, and we're bouncing off of each other. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm. And no one's there to hurt each other. Is the best
Yeah,
part,
sure.
I mean, for the most part. There's always a
98% of people are not there to hurt anybody.
It's always the ones that are doing.
I almost threw down in between the berry to me one time. This dude was just, he was being a little too rambunctious, and like he was drunk, and like it kind of ruined like the rest of the show for me a little bit. I could do a whole podcast on concert etiquette alone, just with motherfuckers who talk during the songs, or like, people who just did not shower for like that calendar year. It's certain things like that, man.
Yeah.
But everybody most of the time is there just to have fun.
Nothing drives me crazier more than people who are talking during a set.
It sucks, bro. All right, so Nine Inch Nails is ending with "Hurt," right? "Hurt" is not a loud song. It's
No.
It's very emotional, and it's something you can really connect to on a deeper level. And homie behind me and his girlfriend are just cracking jokes to each other and laughing and shit like that. And I'm like, bruh, like, these were not cheap tickets. Why are you here if you're just gonna talk through it? And people were like shushing them, and then they were shushing back, and like whenever people shush each other, it's even louder and more annoying than like just shutting up to begin with. I don't know. I've dealt with a lot of rude concert goers. I always seem to be by people who just want to talk during the show. That's why I like the pit so much, because no one's talking in the fucking pit.
Right.
You're having a good time.
So if there's ever a song at a Nine Inch Nails show that you don't talk during, it's "Hurt."
Right?
That's just out of respect for the band, because you could hear a pin drop in that place when they play
really
that song.
could. Yeah.
People have so much respect for that song, and for the fact that everyone knows that's the last song they're going to play, but it's not a loud song. It's very quiet and very emotional, like you were saying. And like, just have the fucking respect for not only the artist, but for the people attending the show.
Really.
And me and my wife went to go see Pop Evil on my birthday this year. We won tickets to go to a Sirius XM, like, it was their album release show. So they did an acoustic performance and a Q&A with Jose Mangan, and afterwards they did like a half-hour full set with like plugged in electric guitars, drums, all that shit.
That's
so
cool.
It was cool as hell, man. But the first set they did was all acoustic. So we're about 250 people in a room in New York City that could really only fit about 200 people. And the whole time they're playing acoustic songs on acoustic guitars and one microphone that's not turned up very loud, the back half of the room is talking louder than the band. And I'm like, this is so fucking rude, first of all.
Yeah,
and second of all, this is being recorded. Like, they dropped that as a live album like 2 months ago. But it's like, man, just have respect for the... It's just, it's
you're spending your money just to go and talk. It doesn't make any sense to me. Concert tickets aren't cheap.
No. I mean, thankfully the Pop Evil thing was free. We won our way into that. But like, it's the same thing anywhere you go. People are talking loud and being obnoxious, or even the people that are just like over the top with enjoying themselves. It's like, I get you're having fun. I truly do, and I want you to have the best night of your life. But you having the best night of your life is causing at least 10 people around you to hate you. So like, maybe dial that back a little bit.
Yeah. Self-awareness is not something the human race really excels in all the time.
No, and we don't really accept that too often. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I fully agree with you. I can go for hours on bad concert etiquette and just bad stories about shit I've experienced at shows.
Sure.
But it's supposed to be such a I mean, I'll call it sacred ground for people who are into music on that level. Like,
Yeah, man.
you don't go to a show to feel that on a superficial level. Like, you go to a show to feel that in your fucking soul. Like, that's your escape for a few hours. And who knows the day you had before you walk through the doors at that show, you know? You could have been having the worst day of your life, and that's your release for that week. And, you know, it's just treat others the way you want to be treated.
Sure. No, I agree.
Like, I don't particularly care if people are singing along with all the songs, if they're moshing and throwing down and shit. Like, I could walk away from that. That's fine. If I don't want to be a
Right.
part of it, I can get myself out of it. It's not a big deal. But just being disrespectful is
Yeah,
where I draw a lot of lines, you know.
sure.
um and I feel bad because once again I feel like I cut you off there, Dan. Um
No worries, man.
but yeah, I don't know, man. I forgot we were talking about before we went off on that tangent. I totally blanked. I'm sorry.
Summergrave, we're coming out with 3 songs, baby.
Well, yeah, do you have an official like release date for the full EP, or are you just gonna trickle
Yeah,
them out one at a
Halloween.
time?
It's
Okay,
gonna be Halloween.
cool. And what's the name of the EP?
It is called "The Mountains Sing for No One."
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
read
like
into
that.
that what you will. I thought
Yeah.
it sounded cool. Dan also agreed that it sounded cool, so we went with that.
Yes.
And then,
Um, please say something.
no, go for it.
No, I want to give a shout out to Dom Callie for doing our logo. He did a great job on that, and I really like the way that it came out. Tony Romano also helped me with the cover. So did Dom as well. So it was cool working with the two of them. They're great friends. And also, I did want to mention that Alan Dausch has handled the mixing, I mean the mastering for this EP. He's worked with bands like Converge, Every Time I Die, the Dillinger Escape Plan, and him and Dan have been working really close together over the last few years. And it's just really cool that we have access to him and his studio at West Side Music. I'm going to give him a shout out because he's a legend.
Yeah, dude, that's dope. That's very cool. So you have a lot of hands on this, and I'm glad that like yeah, she took the time to shout him out. I appreciate that. I'm sure they do too.
Sure. Oh shit, Stephen Murphy. Oh my god, I don't know if you listened to Inverted Earth back in the day, but he put a face melter of a solo on our third track, and so I got to shout him out as well.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear this, man. I'm so excited for this EP to drop.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to hear what this turns into too. You know, 3 songs hopefully grows. And I mean,
I think it will. I think we got potential. Dan and I really work well together.
I'm gonna pause the chat just for a sec. Okay, sorry, I had to pause real quick, but we're back. So yeah, now Summergrave. I did want to ask you too. What inspired the name Summergrave?
Um, a series of shitty summers,
Okay.
and yeah, just kind of themes of loss. I had this tagline going on our socials is like, when summer dies, winter is born. And it's just kind of like about loss, but loss while the sun is shining.
That's cool. It's such a unique name. So
I was
like
really happy it wasn't taken. Like, I mean, everything's taken.
yeah,
And it was like, please, 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 please. And it worked out.
you're gonna have to be like Summergrave official or Summergrave
Yeah,
one, or
Summergrave
you know.
2.
Summergrave too.
BC.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like the name a lot. So that's
Thanks.
cool that it comes from something actually like, personal to you. Um so we talked a lot about the 3 songs. We talked about where they come from, the art. And I'm glad that you know, even though there's a distance between you guys, that you're still working on the same level you were when you guys were living in the same place, you know. Um,
Sure.
that's cool to hear for a project, but also to hear like that you guys are still maintaining a friendship, you know. It's kind of unfortunately so damning sometimes. Someone leaves the state and it's like, yeah, we'll talk here and there, but I like hearing that,
Sure.
it's a
If anything,
heartwarming
Dan
thing.
and I got closer after he moved to Vermont.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I think during COVID, like I started talking to you and Johnny, and just like really bonded over, talking about music, and just, shooting the shit. And then eventually, it's like, hey, here's a riff. It's like, oh, sweet, I have a riff. And, oh, here's 3 songs.
yeah. It still kind of blows my mind how quickly this EP. Like I know we've been kind of sitting on it for a long time, but the writing of it came together so quickly, like disturbingly quickly. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I would write a riff and send it to Matt, and the next morning I'd have like 5 ideas from him, and I'd be like, "Oh shit!" And then I'd be like, "All right, Matt, look, I kind of arranged it like this. What do you think?" And like everything we did back and forth, we were like, "Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. It
yes."
really, there wasn't too many times where it was like, nah, maybe not. Like maybe during the third song, but then we found the riff to kind of bridge what we had written, and it was perfect.
Yeah, yeah, kind of wild.
And Dan, I also wanted to ask you, because I truly can't remember if I did before. I don't think I did. But what bands were you in down here? Like, were you in any?
The only band I was in briefly was Iscariot. I don't know
Okay.
if you're familiar with. Yeah, I
Yeah.
played. That's why I got the bass. I played bass for them for I don't know. Maybe I was in the band for 3 or 4 months. Um, yeah, like I had recorded their first EP.
Mhm.
And in the process, I don't think they had a bassist at the time. And I was working with them. I knew the song so well, and I was like, I'll buy a bass. But I was I had just gotten married and bought a house, and they were like talking about getting a van, touring the country. I was like, nah, I'm out, man. I just wanted to play some shows, and I was like, you guys, I think, are taking it more serious than I wanted. But I still love those guys.
That's awesome. It's it's funny how you're able to capture the performance so well with only having been in like one band. Normally that's something you have to like be a little bit more seasoned with, and like, I'm not to say that you're not, but you know what I mean? Like normally you're
Yeah,
in a few different bands that kind of like sculpts who you are as a performer and stuff, especially since bass isn't even your main instrument. But you do such a good job of incorporating that live performance aspect. So hats off to you, man. Um
thank you.
the new stuff sounds amazing, guys. I can't wait to hear the full thing. I know you said you were dropping another song soon, but I'm gonna try to hold off till the 31st and listen to everything in one punch if I can. Probably
Okay.
not gonna work that way for me, but um,
That's all good. Listen, we appreciate however you listen to it, man.
I'm very excited. I'm gonna definitely throw one of the songs on the top 10 when this episode comes out, which will be next week. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Thanks, man.
Of course, man. And man, I'm always excited to hear what you got going on. Dan, it's a pleasure to have met you, and I can't wait to hear more from Summergrave, from Patterns, whatever you guys could do. You have my support. So
Thanks, dude.
Appreciate it.
Nice talking to you.
keep me in the loop with everything, and it was an absolute pleasure to have you guys on. But that's gonna wrap it up for us here. So guys, have a fantastic night and go check out Summergrave. The three song EP comes out on Halloween of this year. And Matt, what's the name of that one more time?
The mountains sing for no one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic night, guys. Thank you so much for doing this.
Take care. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
That's about going to wrap things up for us today. Matt and Dan, it was a pleasure having you on the show, my friends. You know, if there's any way I can help get the word out for you guys, I've got you. Everybody, go follow Summergrave. Go listen to their music. The Callous Pretender is out now. The brand new EP, Mountains Sing for No One, is out October 31st. Very excited for more music from these two. Dan, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was an absolute pleasure, my friends. Thank you for your time and your support. Everybody who listens, all the interactions on social media, who tells their friends to listen. I love you all, and I appreciate you more than my words can ever say. Again, the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way for someone to support a friend or family member's business ventures is to just help get the word out. I do this for everybody. Whether it's a new band, a page for their podcast, their endorsements, a baking business, I don't care. Whatever it is, it takes zero effort, zero time, and I'm more than happy to help out. Share the page, like and share a post, tell your friends about the podcast, about any of the amazing bands that you've heard on the show. Stream the music you hear on the Top 10s playlist. If you're watching on YouTube, crush the subscribe button. It goes a very long way. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys again on the next one. You have been listening to the Face the Music podcast. Be well, everybody. Be safe, and I will see you again soon. Peace.